All right, let's look at another example of solving a system by substitution. All right, so this time I have my two equations, y equals x plus 2 and y equals 2x minus 1. So my steps didn't change. They're still the same 6 steps. So step 1 says circle the expression for the equation solved for one variable. Well, note this time they both say y equals, all right? They're both in the form y equals, so the truth of the matter is I'm still going to use the same method, but the substitution is going to look a little different because I have this equals y and this equals y. Well, since they both equal y, then what that means is that they equal each other. So my substitution step that I'm going to do for number 2 is actually going to be to take the two expressions, x plus 2 and 2x minus 1, and set them equal to each other. All right? Because they both equal y, they must also equal each other. So now I've done my substitution step. Now, step 3 is to solve for the variable. Now, in step 3, this is where, again, I go back to what I learned in Unit 2, and I want to make sure that I'm solving. So first thing I notice is I have a variable on the left and I have variables on the right. So I want to get my variables on one side. So I'm going to take my x, because I only have one of them, and over here I have 2, and I'm going to move my individual x. Now, inverse operation says since this x is positive, I'm going to subtract x on both sides, okay? So over here it's going to cancel, which is going to leave me with 2 on the left-hand side, and then 2x minus an x is going to leave me with just 1x, or x minus 1. All right, so I wanted to get my variables on one side of that equal sign. Remember, you could put the 1 right here, but you don't have to. So I'm going to leave it off. So now I have 2 equals x minus 1. Now I need to get rid of the constant that's here on the same side as the x. So once again, using inverse operations, since it's a subtracted one, I'm going to add 1. All right. And so with that, that is going to tell me that this gets a 3 and this equals x, because my negative 1 and positive 1 subtract, they canceled. So my solving for the variable is x equals 3. Okay. Now, step 4 says substitute your answer back into the original equation. Now, here's the truth of the matter. It doesn't matter this time which one of the two you put it in. So go with the one that looks like it's going to give you less work. Notice here my x has to be multiplied and then subtracted, but over here it only has to be added. So I'm going to make the choice to put that 3, I'm going to substitute that back into this one right here, just because it makes a little less work. All right, so there's the 3 that I'm going to go. And again, I just wrote that first to save time because I have to change colors. So that equation says y equals x, which we now know x is 3, plus 2. And so when I do that, I find that y equals 5. All right, so there's my y equals 5. Now again, step 6 then, write my answer, okay, as an ordered pair. So again, I want to make sure I put x first. Now this time we did solve for x first, so that makes it a little easy. So I have 3 for x, comma, 5 for y, put it in parentheses, and there is my solution by substitution.